When filing Chapter 7 bankruptcy, a big concern of most of my clients that come in is, what do I lose? What do I keep? Do I have to give everything up? And the answer is no. There are exceptions to the rule, and I'll give you some examples of that. But in general, the bankruptcy code and state law provide that you're allowed to keep a significant portion of everything you own. Your household goods, your clothing, your jewelry, bank accounts, 401ks and retirements, motor vehicles, pets. No one's coming to take those things away from you. No one really wants to do that unless there was a circumstance that was put you into a category that perhaps said you have something of such value, that's so valuable, that it's beyond what is protected when you file bankruptcy. Just some examples. Let's say you have a car, and the car is a 2012 Mercedes, and you borrowed money from your home to pay that car off. What has happened when you file bankruptcy, we're allowed to protect so much of the value of that car. But unfortunately, because the car is worth so much, the bankruptcy court may say to you, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, we want this value of the car to be used to pay towards some of the creditors. Another example that's fairly common is personal injury cases. When you have a personal injury case, again, you're allowed to protect a certain amount of that. And if there's a permanent injury, you're even allowed to protect a little bit more. But in most cases, in most circumstances, if the personal injury case is small, what might be determined as soft tissue, low impact injury, and the insurance company doesn't want to give you a lot of money, then that's going to be protected. If the personal injury case is something that's substantial, then the balance of that personal injury case may not be protected. And what that means is that you may have to surrender or give up the balance of that case and pay off your creditors. So there's always a trade-off when you're thinking about filing bankruptcy, and perhaps you have an asset that has significant value that isn't protected fully by the code. And that trade-off, a lot of times, for example, let's say you have a car accident worth $20,000 and you're able to protect 10. After your attorney gets paid, there's going to be some money left over that could be used to pay the creditors, maybe $4,000 or $5,000. Well, you might say to yourself, you know what? That's a trade-off I'm willing to accept because I don't know when this case is going to settle. And I'd rather be able to get rid of $30,000, $35,000 or $20,000 of debt now, not have the lawsuits or stress or all the things that are accompanying this debt on your shoulders, and be able to live my life if I have to give up that amount of money or if I have to give up some value. Now, that's a trade-off, and that's something obviously that we talk about every time, I do at least in my office with my clients, because it's important to understand what happens and the course and the manner it's going to happen. But those are the things that you can protect, and that some things sometimes are not protected. There are other options if you realize something is not protected that we'll talk about as we go further into these teaching segments.